Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and today it is, no joke, one of my favorite days of the year, and it is the day where I get to set up my bullet journal for the next year. I'm so excited. This is the bullet journal that I have chosen to use for next year. It is this gorgeous gold foiled, gold edged, beautiful planner from Tiefossi? I'm not sure how to pronounce their name, but I will be linking it in the description, obviously. It is so beautiful, and it is definitely thicker than the usual bullet journals that I have. I think this one is like over 200 pages or something like that, whereas usually I'll go for like an 192 pages. So we'll see. It's definitely nice and robust. And of course, the first thing we do, as always, is write our names on the first page. And of course, because I'm a little bit extra, I like to really calligraphy my name and make it look really pretty. So I'm using a little brush pen and just doing a really nice signature. And next, I want to talk about the main materials I'm going to be using for my setup today. And they were actually gifted to me by Ohuhu. So thank you so much, guys, over at Ohuhu. And I am actually going to be doing a giveaway of both of these marker sets over on my Instagram. So if you would like to enter the giveaway to receive both of these sets of markers, please make sure to check the giveaway rules below. And yeah, I'm really excited. These are two really nice sets of markers. One of them is got this rounded dual tip situation going on, so I can do really cool little dots, and I've been really into markers like this. And the really cool thing is that they have metallic colors of these as well in the set. So I'm really excited to be using these for my spreads because, like I mentioned in my 2024 flip through video, if you didn't watch that, make sure to go give it a watch. I mentioned that I'm going to be doing this very cutesy theme from one of the themes that I did in one of the months that involves a lot of these little wiggly lines. And here I'm just showing you the dual tips of the other set of markers that I have from Ohuhu. They are so nice. This brush nib and this fine liner tip, they're just amazing, and they have so many colors. So it's just a lovely set. And I'm just using a regular black pen just to write out my keys here, as you can see. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be showing you my setup for this year because it's going to be very cute, very pastel aesthetic and sort of Animal Crossy themed tulip vibes. Just very happy and colorful is kind of what I wanted it to end up looking like. So I'm using colored pencils, I'm using markers, and just kind of making it look really fresh and happy and beautiful. And I'm just decorating the little sides of my keys here with some little doodles. And then on this first proper page here, I wanted to do a little quote page. I usually do this because it's just a really nice way to start the bullet journal setup. Just a really nice way to start the year, really. So I'm using another colored pencil here in red, and I'm just very haphazardly, very messily and in a doodly way just drawing out these ribbons and tulips and little shapes and stars here and there in a lot of different colors, and just making it look really scrapbooky and just really bringing in those elements of doodling. And then I added a little pale pink border with one of the dot nibbed pens. And I'm going to be writing my little quote for the year in this middle section. And the quote I went for is, "Let us live like flowers, wild and beautiful and drenched in sun," by Ellen Everett. I just thought it was so sweet, and it really sort of fit in with the setup theme for this year, and I just wanted to manifest this sort of vibe for my year next year. So, and I just wrote it out in some colored pencils, of course, and then just decorated the edges of the page with some more dots and some more leaves and tulips. And yeah, it's just really fun spread. It just feels like really jovial and carefree. So the next page is the page where I usually do my grid spacing guide. And I actually saw this page set up first on Amanda Rach Lee's channel like years ago, and I thought it was such a helpful page to have, so I started incorporating that in all of my bullet journals. And it's basically just a cheat sheet page where you have all of the page divisions all in one place and telling yourself how many dot grids for each sort of division all in one page, so that later on in the bullet journal, when I'm like doing my setups, I can easily just refer back to this page and see how many squares I need to do to split up a page into thirds or into quarters or the middle point of the page. And it's just a really easy way to, you know, have a reference of how to split up your page into different quadrants. I just did this really quickly here with some fine line markers in different colors, and then I'm just doing a little title in the bottom corner, just saying grid spacing guide in this really cute little floral border. Super adorable, a very helpful spread for someone who sometimes has to do her spreads really quickly at the beginning of the week, and it's just a really nice thing to have. The page next to it, I usually reserve for my goals for the year, and although I don't really do resolutions as a person, I like to set sort of goals. So they're usually more things that I, you know, would like to try doing or, you know, try to implement into my life. Like, I guess that is sort of a resolution, but I don't know. I try to not put too much pressure on these, which is why I tend not to call them resolutions. They're more of like things that I'd like to achieve this year, but there's not much pressure. So here is just a little cute scrapbooky page, and I'm just doing this little look with one of the brush pens, just kind of making it look like it's a page that's been stuck on with some tape. And this is my goals page, ready to be filled out with goals. So next up is a double spread, and it is a very important double spread. It is my sort of year at a glance, future log, whatever you like to call it, double spread. And this is where I'll usually draw out the entire calendar for the year, and it's where I'll, you know, make note of things and events that are happening throughout the year. And I use this page a lot. I don't know if you saw in my 2024 flip through bullet journal, it was very packed with stuff by the end of the year because I find this spread very helpful. So I like to do my calendar in this really pretty like rainbow gradient of colors, and then every month has a different color, and then whenever I have an event on a day, I circle that day with that month's color. It's just a really satisfying color coding system that I enjoy for my monthly calendar. And I didn't want to bore you with writing out all of the days of the year, so did a quick little transition here. But yeah, it is quite tedious writing out every day of the month for the entire year. And also it takes a while because I like to quadruple check while I'm going along that I've got it right. Because there's nothing worse than doing the entire page and then realizing you got one day wrong. It's horrible. But yeah, that was it for my year at a glance. Super satisfying. And we can head over to the next double spread pages, which are my things to check out this year. And I usually do this, it's very simple. I like to keep it pretty open so I have lots of space to write things. So I just did this like sort of wiggly border that I've been doing in all of my setup pages, and I did 4 squares of those, or 4 rectangles of those, 2 on each page, and one of them's going to be for movies, one of them's for books, one of them's for series and TV shows, and the other one at the end is for comics and like manga series that I want to get into. And like I said, it's pretty simple. I just kind of then decorated any empty spaces with some of the doodles I've been doing, like these little stars with my pencil or like little leaves, and that was it. So the next double spread is something that I did for the first time last year, and I'm very excited to show you it again. So I'm actually doing a Dutch door in the middle of this double spread, so it's technically 2.5 pages, and I'm doing the little wiggly border on both of those sides of those pages. And this is my habits tracker, almost triple spread. And this is a very, very helpful spread that I did last year, and I found it so like helpful, so good, so condensed, that I definitely wanted to bring this back this year. And this is basically where I'm going to be tracking my habits for the entire year in one section, instead of doing habits trackers every single month in my monthly spreads. This way I have a specific place in my bullet journal where I can just keep going back all throughout the year and track my habits. So as you can see, I've made 6 different charts here, and they all have 12 different columns for the different months of the year. So as you can see, some of them are a bit shorter because they have less days in the month. And yeah, it's a very simple process. I just, attribute a habit to each one of these charts, and then on any day that I fulfill this habit, I will color that little square in. And at the end of the year, it looks very satisfying and very colorful. And I'm really, honestly, I'm a bit of a stats girl. I love a stat. I love spreadsheets. I love these kind of things. So this really itches that part of my brain for me, especially as I'm going along the year. And I do use different colors for different types of habits within a specific habit, so it all looks really color coded and fun. And yeah, it's just really nice because you get to see like sort of trends emerging for some of these things and attribute, specific events in your life that trigger the increase or decrease of this habit happening. This is what it looked like at the end of last year, and yeah, it's just really cool to look back on your year in habits form. So I'm very excited to fill this one out again. Next up, we have another double spread with a Dutch door in the middle. So I'm just cutting out half of this middle page, and this is going to be my YouTube and Patreon planner. And I forgot to mention this in the last page, but I'm using a little corner rounder cutter to just round the corners of my Dutch doors to match the rounded corners of the other pages. And it makes a lovely little difference. And I'm just taking one of my little dot markers and adding this cute little wavy border to one of my double spreads here. Then this is my YouTube planner. This is where I will write ideas for YouTube videos, and I can have a concise place to write all of the series that I have, ongoing series on the channel, and any future things that I want to do on YouTube. So yeah, this is usually a very empty page. Like you see, I usually divide it into 2 columns and then just write a title and leave the rest open so I can fill it up with ideas either from last year that I didn't get around to, or any ideas that I get along the year. And on the little Dutch door here, I'm adding a section for my classical painting series, and this is where I write the list, the very long ongoing list that I have of episode suggestions that I've gotten from you guys. And next to this page, we have my Patreon planner. Again, a fairly simple spread. I just make a bunch of different little rectangles along the page, and this is just different sections of, planning. So I've got videos, content, different promotions, and tutorials that I can plan out in this page. And then, of course, doing a cute little title with lots of lovely little doodles and tulips, just to make it all really cute. And there you go. That is my YouTube and Patreon planner. And next up, we have my shop planner. Lots of planning, you guys. It's a lot of planning when you have a small business. So I did this spread pretty much similarly to my Patreon planner, just making a bunch of different rectangles for, planning different things and, keeping different categories separate. And one of them's going to be for different collections for the shop. One of them's for apparel, stationery, miscellaneous bits, and books, or book-based items. And I've got a lot of things on this list from last year that I didn't get around to, so these are going to go in this list here, and I'm very excited. Lots of cool things coming this year, so... And then right next to it, I have my bills and subscriptions page. And again, this is a page that I find very helpful because it's just a really nice place to write down any ongoing subscriptions or plans or anything that I use both personally and for my business. So like any, work expenses, I write them down here, and I have the page divided into two. So one of them is for like monthly renewing subscriptions and monthly, bills and stuff. And the other one is yearly stuff. So I know how much I'm spending per month and also how much I'm spending per year for different things. And yeah, it just keeps me really on track of my those expenses that you forget come out of your account because they're ongoing. And yeah, this way I can keep on top of that. Now for my last spread of my yearly spreads is my monthly gratitude page. Now I started doing this page a few years back, and it's definitely a keeper. It is such a lovely little place to do either one or two sentences, like a really short and sweet place to feel gratitude every month and to look back on your month and find things that, made you feel really grateful. And then it's even more special at the end of the year, looking back and, seeing the different things that you found a lot of comfort in and a lot of joy in throughout the year. And it's just a really nice, happy page. So of course I'm bringing it back in this year. So I just make this little chart here with all the months of the year and then some space for me to write my gratitudes. So that is it for my yearly setups. We can now head straight into January. I was on the fence whether or not I would do my January setup for next year in this video, but I thought I might as well because it's a really cute theme and we're already here. So for January, I wanted to do this really cute theme that I have done before. It's like this browser, computer, digital theme. It looked so cute when I did it last time that I really wanted to do it to start off this year. I'm writing out the title page here. It just says January, and I'm writing it in this really nice sort of almost bubble calligraphy font, and I'm doing a border around it that looks like a window, like a computer window, and I'm using these dot markers from Ohuhu to do the little buttons at the corner of the page to close the page and minimize it. It just comes out so cute, and I draw little cursors here and there, and it's just adorable. So we're gonna have some fun with this January theme. Of course, adding some little stars and sparkles everywhere whenever I can, because I have a problem. After adding a little bit of color to the title here, we can move on to my monthly spread for January, the first monthly spread. So, like I said, I'm just making a little browser window border around the entire page, and then I even decided to do like a really cute drop-down menu here, like the ones you get on the tabs at the top of every window and stuff. And below that, I'm gonna actually do my monthly calendar, so I'm using this sort of dark lavender marker to draw out the entire calendar for January. And also writing out the days of the week for every column here. And I'm using that same marker as before to draw this cute little sort of button looking pill shape around the days of the week. And then I'm using the same marker to write out a lot of the text from the window decor that I did in the top left corner. I'm doing like a drop down menu from like when you click on file and you have like new tab, new window, new etc. And it just looks really cute. It was just a nice way to fill up that corner of the page. And at the bottom of the page, I had some leftover space as well. So that's where I'm going to be writing my title, January, for this page here. Again, just doing this cute little font. And I, of course, drew a little cursor at the bottom as well. And then over here on the right, as you can see, there's a lot of empty space, and this is usually where I'll do my little planner tabs for the month. So I'm drawing out a bunch of overlapping windows like this that look really cute, like when you open up a bunch of tabs and they're all sort of on top of each other. And of course, adding the little buttons in the top left corner. And one of them is my general planner for the month, one of them is my YouTube planner, and one of them is my Patreon planner. And then I had a little bit of space left over here in this little corner, so I just drew out a little keyboard, like, you know, when you open up the digital keyboard on your computer, and it kind of looks a little bit like this. I don't know. I kind of did it off the dome and kind of went with that. Then I got one of these little dot markers, again, that I've been using so much in this spread, to do a little dot on every day of the month here, and this is where I then go in and write every single day of the month onto my calendar. And again, adding a little bit of color to the title, and that's it for my monthly spread. We can now go into the next double spread, which is my mood and expenses trackers. And I've been keeping the same situation for these for the past year. They're just I found the formula that works for me and I don't see any reason to change it. So I do a little rectangle in the far left corner here, and that's going to be my mood tracker. And then I have my personal expenses chart over there on the right. And here you can see I'm just doing the titles for both of these. I've got this sort of happy to sad scale over here that I'm gonna be using these beautiful brush markers to blend this red to yellow to green color bar, and it came out so cool. These markers blend really well into each other. So then I did every day of the month down there at the bottom of my mood tracker, and that is where I'm going to be tracking my moods. And then I like to use a light gray marker to highlight every other row on my trackers, just because it makes, following lines easier, and it makes it look really cool and more like a spreadsheet, I love a spreadsheet. So that's what I'm doing here. And then for my business expenses for the next page, I'm just making a really cute browser window border and then drawing out all of the different categories that I like to track my business expenses into. So I usually do 5 like this, as you can see, with an extra tab at the top and at the bottom for the title and the total. So again, just doing this little highlight trick on all of these tables and writing the titles for each one, and I'm all set. And that is it for my trackers for January. So the next double spread is usually where I'll do my sort of brain dump page. And this is just a general planning, note-taking double spread that I take a lot of use out of every month because I love lists. I love writing things down. It's the best way that I use to help declutter my brain. So I use these a lot, and that's why I like to keep them pretty empty. So I literally just did a browser window border and then wrote out the title at the top, brain dump, and that is it. Less is more. So now for the last double spread, this is the last page that we're planning today. It is the first weekly spread of the year. So I am just, again, drawing out a bunch of these browser windows as the different days of the week and creating the little tab at the top as well, which is where I'm going to be doing the little, close window buttons. And yeah, these are just so cute and so easy to do as well, and it creates a really nice theme. And these dot markers came really in clutch for this theme as well. Yeah, I'm just using a gray marker to just highlight the top browser of each day of the week. And then I went in with my black pen just to write out every day of the week as well in that top browser. And then I used that dark purple marker from before to write out the days of the month into each one of these windows. Using the same marker, I'm just writing out the title January over here at the bottom. I like to sometimes include like a mini calendar of the month in the spread as well, just to sort of see where in the month we're at. So I'm using this marker to write out all these titles. I also have a little section for me to plan the whole week out, like a this week sort of to-do list section. And yeah, just adding a lot of these cute little doodles and sparkles everywhere to fill up any empty spaces. So as you can see here, I'm just adding in that mini calendar I was talking about. It just ends up looking really sweet. And again, just a really nice way to fill up that empty square in that corner. I also drew this really cute like hand cursor at the top, and it's almost like it's hovering over a file, and I wrote out January_week1.pdf, and I just think it looked really cute. So yeah, then I'm just using a gray marker to add a little drop shadow to all of these, and that is it, everyone. Now I'm just giving you a little flip through of all of the spreads that I did today, and honestly, this was such a fun time. I just love planning the year ahead. It gives me such a boost of energy and, motivation to do things. So yeah, let me know if you're going to be doing some bullet journaling in the next year, if you're going to be setting yours up anytime soon. I hope this video gave you some ideas and some inspiration for it. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. And again, since this is probably going to be the last video of the year here, I just wanted to say a great big thank you to everyone for all your support and everything this year. You guys make my year so much nicer, and I wouldn't be doing this full time if it wasn't for you. So always a really big thank you. And yeah, if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around. Make sure to subscribe and check me out on socials and all that jazz. And that is pretty much it for today, everyone. I hope you all had a lovely holiday time and are resting up for the new year. And I'll see you in the next year. Bye-bye.